Good morning. You're going to be picking up your new 2025 Impreza Sport today. That's fantastic news. I'm going to spend the next few minutes and go over all the interior and exterior features with you. There hasn't been as much availability of the Impreza over the last couple of years in comparison to the Crosstrek, but look at this. Top of the line leather interior, upgraded sound system, built-in navigation. If you're going to grab an Impreza, why not go all the way? Starting from the front, of course, this is still a Subaru. You have 5.1 inches of ground clearance instead of the 8.7 of the SUVs. All-time, all-wheel drive, of course. Steering responsive headlights, LED fog lights. It's Manitoba, so we do have the block heater already installed. If you're going with a Sportec and you prefer that sportier look, how about these 18-inch alloys, lovingly wrapped right here, 225, 40, 18. 225, 40, 18. Low profile, sporty, nice open look to the wheels. All-season tires. If you look at the front window, you can see that you've got two cameras up at the top. That's your eyesight. So it is the new generation, wider field of view, sealed up to the windshield so that we can't get any of those grubby little fingerprints on it. There's also a lower central mono camera that's going to be able to help with your high beam assist. Of course, as the top level, we do have all your safety features. We've started with the eyesight. You also have the blind spot assist, which is going to be that orange light on the inside of your side mirrors. So it's going to light up when there is someone in your blind spot. If you're not paying attention to it and you turn on your turn signal, it's going to get flashing to get your attention. You also do have your integrated turn signal here, so you can have everybody on the road know your intentions as well. Back at the trunk, as this is kind of the sister vehicle to the Crosstrek, it is going to be a manual tailgate, which is a hatchback style, is nice and light and easy to open. Your release is directly below the Subaru logo. There's a long rubbery button, and you just pull to open. Tons of space in the Impreza. Of course, you've got the 60/40 folding back seat. The retractable cargo cover is standard on the RS and Sportec packages. The carpet floor mats are standard. The Manitoba package for Impreza is the rubber floor mats and the rubber cargo area tray. Also, you still get something analog. This is going to be your owner's manual, which also has your warranty booklet and your service maintenance schedule. Also a new change for the Impreza, you do have the cup holders on either side because, I mean, this is a really easy height for someone short like me for tailgating. As we're talking about the Sportec having all of the safety features, of course, you do have all of the back sensors. So this one does have the forward-facing cameras, blind spot detection, lane departure warning and lane centering technology, and you've got the rear cross-traffic alert and the reverse automatic braking. Everything to keep you safe on the road. Your fuel door. You're going to be picking up your new vehicle with a full tank of gas. With the amazing fuel efficiency, it's going to feel like a while before you have to put in your first tank, but when you do, it's going to be a push-pop release. So as your doors are unlocked, you can just push the fuel door to open it, and when the doors are locked, then your fuel door is also going to be locked, so you're nice and secure. For your interior, you do have the 10-way power adjust driver seat. This is your lumbar support. Pushing this forward section will increase your lumbar support. This will decrease. This one is going to be the back tilt. And then this will be up for the seat, down, back, forwards, and you can also tilt the front thigh support. So all the functionality of the bigger vehicles. Let's take a little look at the fit and finish of the Sportec. So you've got the light gray and dark gray two-toned interior. You've got the big 11.6-inch screen, lots of visibility. Over to your door, you've got your mirror adjusts along the top, your auto front windows, and the button at the bottom is your child window lock. Back seat for the Impreza continues to give you lots of features. 60/40 folding back seats. You do have your center armrest fold down with your two cup holders. In this size of vehicle, it doesn't have separate vents for the back seat. but you do have your USB-A and USB-C charging ports, as well as a seat back pocket on your passenger side. We're going to start going through the interior of the vehicle, and to the left knee, you do have some empty spots here. This dial is going to be the brightness of your gauge cluster, so it is set at the brightest setting. You can always dim it down if you'd like. Below that is a fuse panel, and farther back here, this is going to be your hood release, right close to the door. We're going to get started over here with the left side of your steering wheel. So this is all your radio controls and your phone connectivity and your hands-free. So the top, this is skipping forward, preset radio stations or tracks if you're streaming music. Source would move you from FM, AM, Sirius XM. This is now moving. There's a new configuration with the redesign. You're going to have your digital speedometer up here, and above that there's a menu bar. This toggle will take you through the options. It could be your trip meter and distance till empty, the turn-by-turn directions, the radio station you're listening to. There's lots of choices. Continuing below the toggle, this would be to answer a phone call, hang up a radio, mute your radio, voice controls, or your volume. The middle, of course, is your horn. Horn works. And this side is taking you into your adaptive cruise control. So tap up here to enable your cruise, toggle down to set your speed, or up to resume. These lines are going to allow you to increase what you want as a safe following distance or decrease. So when you turn on the cruise, you're going to get a graphic up in here that it'll be a car and it's going to have lines in front of it. If you think of each line roughly equivalent to a car length, then that means that you're choosing, for example, 3 car lengths, that if someone is in front of you and driving slower, it's going to override your speed but keep that safe distance without you having to turn the cruise control off. You also have lane centering. So that means when you're using your cruise and you're driving somewhere that it can read both sides of the lane markings, if you choose to turn on lane centering, it's going to more actively make steering adjustments so that you're not drifting either side out of the lane. Below that are your drive modes. Vroom, vroom. So you're going to be in I, which is intelligent mode. It's like your eco mode. That's going to be your default. If you opt into sport mode, it's going to make it feel like it's accelerating more quickly, a little peppier drive. Of course, your fuel efficiency is going to suffer for doing that, but we all know that fun has a cost, right? When you do turn your car off, when you turn it back on, it's going to default back into intelligent mode for you to always choose if you want that sport mode. And as this is Canadian content, heated steering wheel. So you pull it towards you, you'll get a little orange light right there. The wheel is going to heat up in less than a minute, and it heats up everything except for this very top bar. So that doesn't heat up, but everything here where we do want you to be holding onto the wheel, that heats up in less than a minute. In behind the right side of your wheel, this is all your windshield wipers. So pull down is intermittent, low, and high. And then the twist at the end, that is going to be your back wiper and washer. And a lovely feature is that your back window washer is also going to rinse off your backup camera. Tucked in behind the left side of your wheel, this is all your headlight controls. So your lights are set on auto, which means you've got an daytime running lights. You'll automatically get your headlights turned on. Everything powers down so you're not burning out your battery. If you want to turn on your daytime running lights or your headlights, you absolutely can. And your Sport Tech has the LED fog lights. So you can see, it is on the off position. If you turn it up there, that will be turning your fog lights on when your headlights turn on. Otherwise, this is your turn signals or for your high beams. When we were doing the exterior walk around, I mentioned high beam assist. So if you push away when your headlights are on, then you'll have your high beams. If a car is coming towards you, high beam assist is automatically going to dim your headlights down and then reset them back up to a high beam when that car passes. So it just takes a lot of the work, and you won't be blinding passing traffic either. Looking at your main screen, as I mentioned, you're going to have your menu along the top that you can scroll through different options. Below that, you've got your speedometer. Got a bunch of warning lights because the car's not running because I'm standing in the showroom. And you've got your odometer. Welcome to your infotainment screen. There's a lot of information all packed in here, and it's a delicious blend of buttons and touch screen. So underneath this white sticker at the top, that's your four-way flashers. Your first option of menus is along the top here, so it can be, again, a lot of the things that you could have configured on the screen by your speedometer. You can just choose what you want for that. Then we do have a volume dial, a tuning dial, and if you want to mute your radio, you can just press the volume dial. That will mute. Otherwise, you can tune in your radio stations however you want. Below your volume dial, you've got front defrost. This is temperature up or down for your driver side climate control. On the other side here under the tuning, this is your back defrost and your temperature up and down, as you do have dual zone climate control. Other wonderful things about a Sport Tech is you have your built-in navigation. So this is powered by TomTom, so you can just search. You do have a couple of different options for how you can have it view, I guess, the view of it. You just tap on the compass to change that. But navigation by a company like this hasn't really changed over the years, so I don't spend a lot of time going through it. You will get familiar that your home button takes you back to your main screen from any of your other options. With your radio, you do have FM, AM, and you'll have 3 months free of Sirius XM. So as I mentioned, you can tune in your stations this way. We'll get a couple set just so that when you're picking up the car, nobody wants to be having static. Press and hold until it beeps to set a radio station. You can overwrite them, of course, as many times as you want. And then if we go back to the home button, media is going to be if you were plugging in a USB stick of music, for example. Phone pairing is always a popular thing to know how to do. So you say, yes, you want to add a device, and you go into your phone, into your settings and Bluetooth. Make sure your Bluetooth is enabled. And then your phone and your car are going to be searching for each other. It will pop up and say Impreza down at the bottom of your Bluetooth list because it'll be in things that you haven't connected to before. Then you just tap on the Impreza. It's going to pop up with the PIN code. Make sure it matches what's showing on the screen, and then just accept all of the rest of the prompts. It'll ask for connecting, for downloading contacts, and then as you do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, the next prompt will then be going over into whichever of those platforms your phone supports. If you're going to add additional devices, that's down here at Manage Devices, where you can add or delete or change which phone is connected. Apps is going to show your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM Travel Link, which gives you, say, weather that is attached to a Sirius XM subscription. So it'll be there for 3 months and then it'll be gone. And you've got your My Subaru. So that is the remote start and emergency services, which is app-based. It does not connect to your key fob in any way, shape, or form, but you'll have functionality in your car or off your phone. So My Subaru in the car, when it's connected, would take you to connecting to the dealership for an appointment, contacting roadside assistance, or contacting the concierge services. Again, free for 3 years. Your settings will allow you to go in. This looks kind of like a phone screen for all of the different things that you can set up. Under sound, you can adjust basically every option of noise that your car makes. Everything is set at a medium setting right now. And if you use this right arrow to go into car, it'll also take you through all of your safety features. In the Sport Tech, you do have the driver monitoring system. That is facial recognition. So you've got an infrared camera in this bar right above your main screen. It will allow the car to recognize you as you get in, and it'll also be able to yell at you if you are driving distracted or falling asleep at the wheel. I do have a separate video on setting up your driver monitoring system, but I usually suggest when you're picking up your new car, maybe wait for a little bit before setting this up. In an Impreza, it's easier because it isn't tied to any memory seat settings, but you would be doing register user and then plug in all your information. You can always check that other video for more details. Keyless entry system. It tells what doors will unlock and how it's set up. So when you walk up to your driver's door, the default setting is that only the driver's door will unlock. You can change it if you have a busy life and always a full carload of people, you could set this up to have all doors unlock if that works better for your life. Otherwise, your interior lights, your one-touch door, lane changers, and safety features. Go back to the home button. Your car info is going to be able to show if you're on an incline or a decline, and also your maintenance reminders are there. Display off is a fairly new feature. The idea is for a long highway drive, we don't want you to think that the big screen is a distraction. This will allow your music to keep playing, but it will put the screen to sleep. So you can tap on it to get your climate controls back up. And when you're wanting to turn your screen back on, you just press and hold the volume dial for what I think of a long 3 count, and everything is back up. At the bottom of the screen, I've been going back to this a bunch of times, that's your home button. This grayed out space, because of course the car is not running right now, that'll be an A with an arrow around it. That is your auto start stop feature. It defaults into the enabled position. And while you're driving, if it meets the criteria, you're driving along, you get to a stoplight. If it's a fuel savings, the car will then turn off. You hardly notice when it happens, but when you're taking your foot off the brake, it will shudder so that you know that it's restarting. And it can save you up to 10% on fuel costs during the time that that's enabled. Beside it is AVH, so that is the auto vehicle hold. It's kind of like a hill brake. So if you were driving somewhere and you were at a stoplight on a steep hill, when you take your foot from the brake and go to the accelerator, your car could roll backwards. You don't want that to happen, so AVH will keep you in place. So you could take your foot off the brake and it will hold you in that place until you put your foot on the gas to release it. Your car button here will also give a pop-up of your vehicle control features. Driving assistance allows you to get into your safety features, and more settings can be, say, you want to adjust all the volume for the warnings, or if you want to switch over to miles and miles per gallon. I mentioned your manage devices option here, and this will be for profiles. That's if you wanted to link a name to a specific phone. Down at the bottom, this is your climate controls. So your on, off. Here's your fan. The fan all. Right now, this will be moving heating or cooling through to the back seat, and that's why right here it says all. If you were to turn this off, then it changes to say driver. So it can be keeping your heating or cooling most efficiently for whatever the capacity is and how you're using your vehicle. To the right of that button is your air conditioning. Fan speed buttons have been increased through the generations of having this bigger screen for ease of access for you. Also, if you were to hit this button low, it gives you a pop-up. So this means you can use these sliders to adjust temperature. You can sync your 2 zones, so both front zones are whatever the driver wants, or we can have it so that, there we go. We can have it so you've got someone on the passenger side who's chilly, and along the bottom, this is going to be where the air is blowing. So now if you don't touch this screen for 10 seconds, what's nice is it minimizes, so you can kind of pop it up, do the adjustments you want, and get back to driving without having to look for a smaller button and get out of it. If we now look below the screen, you've got a wireless charger here, which you can turn on or off. So you can just pop your phone down there, of course, based off of what case is on it, whether you sometimes have to take your case off. Then you've got USB-A, USB-C, and an auxiliary plug here. Of course, charging will be faster with a corded connection versus the wireless charger, but you've got lots of options on what works best for you. Then we move down into your gear shift. You've got your heated seats, driver and passenger. This is your electronic parking brake. You pull it up to set it like it is now. You have to have your foot on the brake and push down to release. Locking wheel nut key. And then you've got your 12-volt adapter, like a little lighter adapter here, and your center console. Don't mind that. I was trying to be fancy with how I put my phone. Totally didn't work. Are you falling more and more in love with your Impreza? Good. We've got a little bit more to do, but we're in the home stretch. If we go to what is between the driver and passenger's roof area, we've got the red and the blue buttons. So this is your My Subaru app. So the SOS button, hit that if you do get in an accident. So you've got your 3 free years of the My Subaru app, remote start, emergency services, roadside assistance. Subaru is offering an extended amount of free services with a lot of options for you to use. So that SOS button is there. It'll quick connect through the head unit of the vehicle to a person. Also, if you were in an accident and it meets the criteria, someone is going to call and make sure you're okay. So if you are unresponsive, they are going to bounce off your location and dispatch emergency services. Beside it is the blue button with the I, like info, and that is your concierge service. So if you are, for example, you're driving somewhere you're not familiar with, you don't want to take your attention off the road to try and plug something in your navigation, and you want to know how to get somewhere, you can call concierge and you can ask them. Maybe it's a gas station, maybe it's a specific address, but it allows you to be paying attention to the road more than messing around with any of your technology. You also have your sunroof control. So this is your tilt function and this is your slide to open. And you've got a little slider over here that's going to control whether your map lights are on or off when your doors are open. And then, of course, we've got your sunroof. Right now we're showing the roof of the dealership and you've got a manual cover for that. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to go through all the features and controls of the Impreza Sport Tech. You are joining the ranks of a pretty historic vehicle. It's been around with us for a long time, going back a ways. But you are getting into the little tiny tank that is all-wheel drive and setting you up for an independent new Winnipeg life. Again, I want to be your go-to Subaru gal for all things in Canada. My name's Allison. I work here at Jim Pattison, Subaru South. I'm going to put my phone number right here. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to help. I'm going to continue adding in some other videos of some commonly asked questions, and we're going to keep rolling out the model lineup so that you can get to know them all. But as this is a new addition to your family, I want you to feel welcome into our family. You're now part of a Subaru family. Thanks so much.